No, that's it. All right, so week 6 is our chest and triceps day. So we are still doing a combination of dumbbells with resistance bands. So first thing this morning, we are going to warm up. If you're new to joining these workouts, these are full length, uncut, beginning to end, so warm up included. Let's grab our bands. We definitely want to really loosen up the shoulders, as always, especially on chest day. Anything upper body, I always do a shoulder warm up, but especially this day. All right, first thing we're going to do, even before the bands, let's get some arm circles in here. Oh, first, stretch. Ooh. So we're going to go forward for 12, and then we'll go backward for 12. And while we're warming up, I want to mention that keep an ear out or eye open, or both. Maybe starting next week, we're going to start doing some giveaways every single week. So if there's anyone that you know that you think could benefit from these videos, give you an opportunity to win some stuff. We're going to be giving away Undersun band sets like this, 5-band sets, giving away some Maverick multi-V hydration products. Maybe even we'll do some of the fail-proof nutrition plan giveaways. But every single week, we'll be doing some super easy giveaways. Basically, all you have to do is share it with a friend, that type of stuff. Plus, it's also a cool way for me to be able to hook you up with stuff. All right, let's do a few more. All right, let's grab that band. Oh, man. The shoulders are sore. Or that one shoulder. All right, elbows up to shoulder height. Pull those hands apart and rotate backwards. Just me against the world. Let's get a few more. Oh, man. All right. Double that band up. Give it a little twist. Tuck those elbows in. Internal, external rotation. Give it a little resistance with that opposite arm. Now, if I didn't do this, and I tried to jump into this chest workout, it'd be an epic fail. So this stuff makes a big difference for me. Really trying to nurture that left shoulder. That's that biceps tendon. And just here recently, I've had a few friends completely rupture that biceps tendon. And they have to go in there and reattach it. I've had enough surgeries in my life. That's one I don't want. So trying to be really smart about things here. So we're going to do one more warm up. We're going to do some pull aparts. And we're going to do just some light push-ups here on the bench. Just to get our chest nice and warm. Stretch it out a little. And then we'll jump into dumbbell presses. So pull aparts. Pull straight out to the sides. So we have a few more weeks doing this combination of dumbbells and bands, and then we'll start progressing. That's the whole concept of this 60-week program, is just a progression to an advanced training routine. So intensity will start going up as well. Let's get a few more. Nice. Now you can just warm up. You could even do an easier version up against a wall, almost like a wall push-up, but so this nice controlled goal here is just to warm up. It's 5. We're going to go to 12. There's 10, 2 more. Nice. All right. Light stretch. Whew. Monday. You know, Mondays are kind of like mornings. It's like however you start your morning, a lot of times that will carry through the rest of the day. That's why I try really hard in the mornings to start things off on the right foot, have some good routines in the morning. But Monday is like the morning for your whole week. All right, I'm gonna bring the bench out. So what better way to start your week than with a good chest workout? So I really liked what we did last week, using the bands either for our first set or as a finisher. Since not feeling so loose yet, I think I'm just going to do one set of a wraparound chest press with the bands. Just get everything a little bit looser. So hands out nice and wide, and pressing out and then squeeze in. Get 2 more. Nice. All right, before I grab those dumbbells, bring the arm across. and overhead. I think he's not happy with me this morning. All right, so we are doing 3 sets in total, aiming for 10 to 12 reps, 90 seconds rest in between. Going to do the set, put the dumbbells down, grab the band, then we are going to do same wraparound press that we just did for a warm-up. So where you're going to have to use your better judgment if you have any kind of injury, like I do. So it's tempting to want to go nice and heavy, but sometimes you got to play it smart. We'll see how this feels. Remember, we don't need a lot of weight here because we're going to control our rep speeds. We want to try to get that 2-second eccentric nice and controlled. Same thing, nice controlled push or concentric. There's 6. Eight, 9. That's 10. We got more. There it is. All right, set these down. Grab that band. Squeeze out a few reps. Two more. One more. Nice. So light stretch. I'm also going to grab one of these, see which one feels better. They're both same company, just a little foam roller. I get in there in that shoulder. It's bugging me. It's what I'll do a lot of times. Come in here. This is a little small, but come here to the side, you'll see. Now let's lean into it. Oh, shit. Fucking thing is irritated. Wow. Sometimes I won't even roll around. I'll just find that spot. Just kind of lean into it. Let it try to relax a little. Man. Those don't feel too bad as long as I don't go too heavy and if I keep a more neutral position. So hands more at 45. I'm not here. I'm not here. Right about there. And then same thing with the elbows. Letting them fall naturally to my sides. Not flaring them out. I used to do this a lot. Trying to get that nice stretch in the chest. Yes, you get a nice stretch, but you're also causing a lot of wear and tear in there. You have all that connective tissue crossing the shoulder. Same thing, like I used to do flies really far back until I felt that good stretch in the chest, you know. Grew up watching old videos of Arnold or photos of him doing these crazy dumbbell flies. The stretch feels nice, but the long-term tissue damage does not feel nice. All right, here we go. A routine I've always had. So once I get my dumbbells in position, so I'll take a couple breaths, really try to get focused, and think strong. It's like if you go into a set thinking you're tired, you're going to feel weak. Think strong. That's only 8. Shake it off for a second. Try to get 2, maybe even 3. We'll rest pause. Here we go. That's 9. 10. Got one more. Nice. All right. Same thing. Oh, man. Come on. All right, that's 4. Light stretch. Other side. So when that long head of the biceps is irritated, sometimes it helps for me doing a stretch low, just getting a little stretch in that biceps. And a lot of times I turn the opposite direction, rotate my chest this way. That bicep stretch out. Another one right here. So here at the house, I do have a massage gun. I don't overuse these things. What I find that situations like this, it can help because it's literally going in there. And if you go ahead and tap on the spot long enough over and over and over, you start to desensitize it. That's why it makes you feel better immediately, is you're desensitizing the area. Doesn't always mean it's the best therapy though. The only reason I'm not using it right now is not practical for everyone to be able to use that. So I like to show you different alternatives. Having one of those little small foam balls, that is, anyone can carry one of those in their gym bag. All right, we got one more set of these. So I'm probably gonna drop down just one level. If I can, I'd rather get 10 nice, clean, consecutive reps. So I never, ever have a problem dropping down in resistance. It's not about how much weight you use. It's about how hard you're making the muscle work, as we always say. All right. So see, I'll always brace it right on my thigh there. And that way I'm not putting a bunch of stress on my low back. Here we go. Strong thoughts. Strong mind, strong body. Control those rep speeds. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright, so starting to fatigue, so I have to shake this off for a sec. After this, that remind me to tell you why I'm not the biggest fan of journaling when it comes to my workouts. All right, here we go. Nice. So journaling workouts, pros and cons. Pro is, A, helps you stay structured. It's important. B, it is nice to be able to track progression. Here's the risk in it. Too easy to get caught up in it from workout to workout. If I come in one day and I just happen to be feeling well rested that day, ate really well, energized, whatever the case is, I could be significantly stronger from one workout to the next. So strong one day, next week coming to do chest, not able to move the same weight for the same number of reps is normal. Our energy levels fluctuate. There's all sorts of variables there. So if you're going to journal, just don't get too caught up in it if you're not progressing the way that you think you should from week to week. I never look at it from week to week. I'm looking at bigger cycles, macro cycles. You know, how does it look over a month period or 2 months? More realistically, more like 3 months. So if you're the type of personality that likes to journal, I'm not trying to discourage you, but those are the things to be aware of. Sometimes we just have mediocre workouts, no matter how good our intentions are. And that's just part of the process. It's the way it goes. I always compare it to the stock market. Let's say the stock market, is on the rise over the course of 3 months, right? You see this chart going upwards. But if you were to really zoom in on that from day to day, even though it's heading in this direction over the course of months, day to day, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's the way everything is. And it's the same thing with your workouts. So even though you're progressing over a longer macro cycle, sometimes in the micro cycle, you're having those fluctuations. All right, exercise number 1 done. So in our PDF, if you haven't downloaded it, you can. Link in the description is free. We're using this as a guide. I'm not staying married to it. Even though I wrote this, it makes me realize how much I hate following the rules, even if they're my own rules. So we have triceps extension. We've been doing that. We've been doing our triceps before we move to our next chest. It's pros and cons. Gives our chest a second to rest. Really doesn't matter much because we're fatiguing our triceps so much that by the time we go to do our next chest exercise, you're not going to be able to move as much weight anyway. All right. So we've been doing with the bands, we've been doing single arms, but you can do them double. A lot of different ways you could do it. It's just step on the band and just do them right here. I like to, instead of grabbing so close together though, I do like grab a little bit wider, create more tension on the band. So instead of trying to hoist this over your head, it's much easier to squat down into position. And now you can do a press. This is our starting position right here. Now, some people say they don't like the way this feels on their hands. It does put a lot of pressure on the outside of your hand. If I don't do it all the time, it doesn't particularly bother me, but I'll show you another hand position that alleviates that. So instead of grabbing it like this, you're gonna grab it like this. So it seems awkward when you're down here, but watch when we get into position. And this is more comfortable. So recap, instead of grabbing it here, thumb to thumb, thumb down. Light tricep stretch. All right, I'm gonna grab a drink of water. Now we're gonna do the same movement with dumbbells. So the theory here, at least for me working around the injury, is kind of easing into a movement with the bands first. Make sure I'm really warmed up. Then I'm able to use slightly less weight with the dumbbells, because I'm controlling rep speed, more time under tension, making it harder. Also using good mind-muscle connection to make sure that I'm really thinking about getting a good squeeze every rep. That makes it harder. But knowing that I'm going to come in and finish off with a couple reps with the bands, I don't feel as compelled to try to go heavier with the dumbbells. And that's allowing me to navigate around this injury. All right. So the way that I like doing these when I'm doing doubles, pressing the dumbbells together. I've said this before, it works with round dumbbells as well. Even easier with these hexagon ones because they sit flat against each other. Press overhead. Control that rep speed. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, the more you keep those elbows pointed toward the ceiling, even thinking about trying to push them backwards, the more tension you're going to have here at the very top. If we're coming forward here, we just don't have good resistance with dumbbells here at the end where we want a good squeeze. Remember, plane resistance is gravity. Let's go ahead and finish off with bands. So we'll go with the more comfortable grip. So it's not here, not thumb pointing to thumb, thumb pointing toward the floor. So as we progress through the weeks, if you love bands, don't worry. We're still going to be incorporating them into our warm-ups. We use them for different things like this, finishers, etc. So even if you don't want to do dumbbells only, matter of fact, if this week you don't want to do dumbbells, you could do all these same moves just with the bands. You just do the same thing that we're doing for the first set. So that's set 2. Got one more here. So a theory with overhead triceps extensions, one head of the triceps crosses the shoulder. So when we put our arm overhead, putting just a little bit more tension on that muscle belly, giving you a very strong contraction there. That's the theory. Some of that stuff I still prescribe to. I still see the benefit as long as it's not an exaggerated range of motion. As long as it's not something uncomfortable, then I have no problem doing it. But if trying to target a muscle feels uncomfortable, I feel like it places stress on maybe connective tissue, the joint, etc., then it's just not worth it to me. All right, here we go. And as far as targeting, all 3 heads of the triceps, as long as you're training the muscle from different angles, you're gonna get good, well-rounded development. There's no such thing as an exercise that's gonna isolate one over the other. You can sort of prioritize a little bit, but even then, through the years, I don't know if I believe in that as much as I used to. I'm facing here, so you can see that I try not to let my elbows go too wide. One more. Oh, that was not pretty. But we got it in. Go right back to the bands. Look at those hands shaking. One more. Any of our overhead stuff with bands, shoulder press, or even these, when you see your arm starting to shake, one of the benefits of that instability is all those little muscles in the rotator cuff are having to fire to stabilize. It means you're strengthening them and conditioning them. That's what their job is. When you come in and you do shoulder press on a machine where it's stabilized front to back, side to side, those small muscles don't have to work. So you're just using your bigger primary movers, deltoids, triceps. And so you have your bigger muscles getting bigger, stronger. Small muscles aren't getting worked as much, and you end up with a disparity between the two. And in my opinion, that's one of the causes of all the shoulder injuries. Just imbalances. All right, that was 3. So Then we're gonna come back here to the bench. And we're gonna do some incline presses. Let's talk about incline for a second. This one took me a long time to figure out. Upper chest, never my strong suit. And so, of course, I always thought it was my training. I need to do more incline. I need to do more incline. I'll do incline bar press. I'll do incline dumbbell press. Incline machine press. Incline everything that you could think of. Guess what? Upper chest really never grew much. Why? Just my genetics. Some people just have a more developed upper chest. And you watch them and you look at all the different movements they're doing. Yeah, maybe some of it, but they just also have an inclination to grow that area more. We all have those body parts. We have strong ones, we have weak ones. Me, I always had like really round, full triceps. Some people don't, no matter how hard they train them. It's like calves. Can you maximize development based on your genetics? Absolutely. And that's the goal. But with that being said, I stopped doing crazy angles on incline because no matter what I did, no matter how much I tried to squeeze the chest and minimize the focus on my shoulders, anterior delts just kept getting more and more developed. For whatever reason, I just couldn't override that from a mind-muscle connection. So for me, doing too much incline didn't build a better upper chest. So what did help, because even though it's not so great, it's better than it used to be, and that's just focusing more on the squeeze, and that's more the mind-muscle connection as opposed to all the different angles, because you can build your upper chest even doing flat bench. With that said, this looks pretty good. You notice I'm not like at a 45. A lot of people do this here. For me, it just like was all shoulders and triceps for me. So I like a little lower personally. And then I'll just, like I said, focus on getting that squeeze up here. It's one of the things I like about bands is I can do one arm at a time. Matter of fact, let's do that. Do one arm at a time because I want you to feel what that feels like here. Like this right here, this is what's allowing you to feel different parts of the muscle contracting. It's like, oh, there it is. And that kind of helps develop that mind-muscle connection. That's why I like doing a lot of machine stuff. Let's try something that I haven't done before. I've tried just about every variation you can think of with bands. Here, I'm going to switch spots with you. Never done singles. Need something to wrap it around, right? How's this go? You have to forgive me here. I'm experimenting. It's not bad. Another option here. I don't even need this. It's the way that I used to do it, and I think I probably still prefer this. So all I'm doing is just locking the band in place with this one over here. And I can still reach around here. And I want you to just feel. Press down low, squeeze across. What does it take for you to get that strong contraction? Because for me, if I just press here, pec still feels soft. I don't feel like a strong contraction there. That's why I was never big into flat bar. It's just like didn't give me that strong contraction that I like. So I want you to play around with it. Press down. What does it take to get a strong contraction down here? Press more to the middle. Move around. Get that mind muscle connection. Do you feel it here? Just press up like an incline. You feel a contraction? No. Squeeze in. Mind muscle connection. Do that every single rep. Really think about squeezing the muscle. Just don't rely on the resistance to create that for you. I always think of it like posing the way that a bodybuilder would pose. They obviously don't need resistance to contract the muscle, so it's posing with resistance. All right, so let's do one set here with the band. So we're not going to press out here. This would mimic a regular flat chest, or flat chest. That's me, flat chest. A flat press. We're going to press up toward the ceiling here and squeeze into the middle. And that little squeeze is what's going to give you a good contraction. So out wide. And after this, I'll tell you one of my favorite mind muscle visualizations for chest. Nice. All right, so I said this last week with shoulder press. Same concept here. Here's a mind muscle connection visualization drill for chest. If we think about pressing our hands up, then we're going to have a tendency to recruit a little more triceps. So instead of thinking about pressing my hands up, my hands and my forearms are going for the ride. I'm thinking about squeezing my elbows up, right? Raising the elbows, hands and forearms are just going for the ride. And then I feel like I'm able to kind of relax the triceps a little and make the chest do more of the work. Then you guys see some of the latest versions of these AI video filters for muscle now. Like the ones for photos have been around for a while. But some of the brand new ones for video, pretty soon people are just going to stop working out. They'll hide in their house. They won't ever want anyone to really see what they look like. But it's insane when it comes to social media, especially you think about the world of fitness influencers. Why are you going to listen to someone? A lot of times it's how they look. I like the way that person's physique looks. He must know what he's doing, he or she, so let me do what they do. But now, man, talk about misrepresenting yourself. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy. All right, we're going to move to a dumbbell incline press, and then we'll pop up and finish off with the band. So remember, incline, most of us are weaker in an incline. Not everyone. I've seen some freaks out there that are just as strong in an incline as they are flat. Those people do exist. It's not most of us, though. So typically I'll reduce the weight 15, 20%. Plus we can focus more on time under tension. I'm going to reduce it significantly, at least 20% here. We want to use that same mind muscle visualization that we just talked about. And it's impossible to practice that if you're going too heavy, because then all you're thinking about is pressing that weight, getting it off your chest. But if you go a little bit lighter, it'll let you focus on this. And that's why you always used to promote the 20, 10, 10, 15 rep scheme. First set, the 20 reps wasn't a warm-up. serve the purpose of warm up, but by going lighter, it allows you to focus more on technique and really feel it and do it the right way. And then that's your benchmark. And then you want to chase that same feeling as you go up in resistance on set number 2 and set 3. So you're doing 10 reps, but with disciplined form. All right. Lower the elbows. Raise the elbows and squeeze them in. Remember, hands are just going for a ride. Ah. I need a couple more. All right, grabbing that dumbbell. We don't have to lean back on the bench. We don't want to. We do these standing. Again, not here. Now we're pressing up. The band is an even better opportunity to think about that mind muscle drill. One more. So there's one advantage to doing these on the bench as opposed to standing. On the bench, you're pressing the dumbbell, so it's not going to slide off the top of your back. Because if we come in here and we start pressing up at an angle, it's easy for it to come up like that. That didn't feel good. So we're going to do something different for our third set. I like bringing some of the stuff back that we did early on, which was body weight only. Did that one, it's a nice progression, starting point. 2, I like to bring body weight stuff back into my resistance training for finishers, warm-ups, etc. So we're going to end up doing push-up with our feet up, which mimics doing an incline. All right. So I'm going to drop down 1. We're here. I'm going to go here. See if I can get 10. So we talked about that mindset, being strong. This is where it really counts. When you get deep into the workout and you start getting tired, it's easy to start thinking tired. You start telling yourself that you're tired, and then you're going to be tired. So this is where you have to get that second wind, flip that switch. It's almost like a truck that has a second gas tank. You got to Flip the switch. Use your reserves. Think strong. Catch that breath. Shake off the stars. One more. Nice. You know, there's one big misconception that I've been hearing a lot over the last 5 years, especially as I see more and more people getting geared up, guys on anabolics, older guys on TRT, younger guys on anabolics, calling it TRT, all combinations. No judgment, I'm 50 years old, I'm on TRT. But my levels are more like they were when I was younger. So even though I'm enhanced for 50, I'm not for 25, if that makes sense. But the reason I bring this up has nothing to do with TRT. Where the confusion is how you should be training when on TRT versus being natural. Because what I hear a lot lately is, oh, you know, that guy's doing low volume training, he must be on TRT, he can get away with it. Or hey, he's training with lighter weights, he must be on TRT, he can get away with it. In other words, this mindset that being on those drugs is enough of a shortcut or hack that you don't have to work hard. And that if you're a natural guy, you have to lift heavier, train with more volume, train with more frequency to make up for it. And that's not the case. Whether you're on anabolics, TRT, or you're natural, the training is really no different. It's actually the opposite of what people think. And this misconception has only popped up in the last 5 years. The reality is, guys that are on the sauce can train harder, longer, more frequency, you know, hitting body parts twice a week and still recover. And that's the key with anabolics is they enhance recovery. So you're able to get away with more training than you would if you were a natural guy. So, you know, as far as should you do a PPL versus a bro split, being natural versus enhanced, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You know, higher volume workouts, you know, a lot of it's just personal preference. It has nothing to do with some sort of criteria of being natural or not. And I don't know where that came from. Clearly enough people have said it, and you know how it is. When enough people start saying something, everybody follows along like it's true. It's like it catches momentum. And the longer that it goes on, the more people believe it to be true. All right, we got that finisher set right here. So we're just gonna kick our feet up. We'll do it right here. I end up putting this bench away anyway. All right, so kicking our feet up. Now, if you look at the angle of our push, where our hands are more in line with our forehead, so to speak, this is more like an incline. Keep that back flat. Control those rep speeds. Remember, it's not about how many you can do. It's the quality of them. And when I mean quality, I'm not talking about like how perfect is your form. I'm talking about how hard are you making the muscle work every rep. Nice. We're getting somewhere here. What do we have left? So that would have been our incline. We did that. Yeah, we're just finishing off with some arm circles here. Call it a freaking day. So even though we only did one triceps exercise, remember all these pressing movements, you're using triceps. So next week we'll switch it up. We've been doing a lot of overhead. We'll do some different things. We'll start doing some push downs, start switching it up. So arm circle is exaggerated. Let's go backwards and really open it up. Open up the chest, shoulders. And I'll show you one more thing that I like to do at the end of my sets. Not always, sometimes. At least when I'm at home. In the gym, not so much. It's 12, let's go forward. Four more. So I've never been much into the gratuitous posing in the gym. Even when I was young, this wasn't my thing. But basically, is a type of most muscular pose. So in the world of bodybuilding, trying to do most muscular shoulders, you're trying to show off everything, but a lot of it is right here at the center, is in the chest. So sometimes guys that come in here, you can get a really good contraction this way. Some people would squeeze their hips. Some people would be here or like this. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Fist in your other hand, and all you're doing is pushing in. You wanna feel a strong contraction here, and we're gonna hold it until 20 seconds. Ready? As hard as you can. And chest up, push it out, chin up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's it. That's chest and tries. See you tomorrow. Back and buys.